seems like theater arts is a mix of emotions and passions, not only of the mind and body, but of the spirit. And it seems like when someone is on that stage performing, an array of different spirits, if you will, take over the actor. Why did you get into acting, and how's the feeling?
It's a wonderful feeling. I almost don't know how to describe it. To start, though, I got into it because I watched a lot of plays when I was younger. I think I was kind of a pretentious kid, and that was a way to get attention. And then eventually I realized, oh, I actually like these. I don't just want to be the worst. I actually enjoy these plays, and it's wonderful when you see a really good production. I would go to this little theater near my home, and it was a blank stage almost, very plain costumes, but the actors were amazing, and you felt like you were sitting on the edge of this other world, and it was a better world than yours. It was grander, either more tragic or funnier, and you didn't even feel like you were looking in through a window. You felt like you were a part of it and experiencing these amazing people and characters as if they'd been somehow drawn up out of the page, out of the words, and become real. And that's magical.
So this magic spirit comes out of the text and really embodies you, and it brings you into college, where now you're at Stony Brook University and you are part of this club that really eats, breathes, and feels improv. So how is improv just something that you're really drawn to?
You know, I wandered into an improv class last semester, and it was the first real theater I had done myself. And it's just, why am I drawn to improv? It's the whole creative process in one thing. You're the director and the actor and the writer all in one scene, and you're making it up on the spot. And I think that's really exciting because it can go anywhere. It can be a scene in a grocery shop, or you can be an angel talking to the devil. And it's wonderful because of the connection to other people, too.
And I think, to kind of touch on what you just said, there's something that's kind of behind the scenes about improv. It's in everything, you know. You look at Saturday Night Live, that's mainly improv. You look at even stand-up comedy, a lot of it's just them on the fly deciding how the audience is reacting and how they should draw from that and how, you know, their counterparts reacting and whatnot. I think that kind of speaks to what you just said.
Totally. I should mention, that's where Amy Poehler got her start, is doing improv comedy, and she's actually, her group are the ones who wrote the book that my troupe uses to train.
Oh, that's really cool. So, like, what's in that book, and how is it moving towards? How do you use it to move towards your upcoming performances?
Well, the whole goal of improv is to create a performance that looks like it's been pre-written, so that the audience goes, "They're cheating. They made that up beforehand." So you want to present something much like Saturday Night Live.
We want our money back.
Exactly. Our free tickets back. But it's to present something that looks a lot like Saturday Night Live. So you have to learn a lot of techniques for interacting and connecting with your improv troupe without using words. So there's a bunch of different exercises to break the process down to do that.
So what's going on up next with Pocket Theater?
Pocket Theater has a few things coming up next. We have an improv show, since we're on that topic, December 3rd and 4th at 8 p.m. in Stoller Theater 3. It's free and wonderful. And then we have a big musical coming up, or they have a big musical coming up, American Idiot, based on the music of Green Day. And that's November 20th and 21st and 22nd.
Well, anything for the holidays, especially the Christmas season that's coming up?
I don't know so far. There's usually not a lot of theater activity over the winter break, just because there's not a lot of students here. There is actually a musical in preparation for next year already called Madama Butterfly, which is adapted from an opera, and they're already rehearsing.
So that first time that you hit the stage, what was the feeling like, and what was going on through your mind?
Just so afraid, but so full of feeling. It's wonderful to just feel so much, to feel afraid in every part of your body, because you feel so alive. I've never felt, I don't think, that alive before I was on stage or in rehearsal.
And I think that kind of goes across the whole spectrum of any performing art or anything you do, even radio. You kind of have that moment of, like, you know, getting ready to go in the game, and you psych yourself out a little bit, but you embrace it and use it as energy to kind of go through what you're doing.
It's the adrenaline that just flows through you.
I know earlier we were talking about anxiety, and like I still feel anxiety whenever we get on the air. I'm always like clam up right before we're like, okay, and go, and we're like, oh no, oh no.
I share the feeling too sometimes, don't worry.
Yep, same. I think it's also so fun being on a stage because you get to do things that you would never do in normal life, like shout at people and flirt with married women and try to seduce beautiful girls and all these things that it's really fun to do, and you kind of connect with other actors through doing these crazy things with them.
Would you call it a sugar-coated world, though?
In what way?
In everything that you were just describing, which sounds pretty great. Like, you could just command anything to happen. Almost like what would be in one's perfect world, which usually is sugar-coated. Would you call it that way?
I wouldn't, just because, well, I was also thinking about being in scripted plays and getting to do those things, and then you have to follow the script and be true to it, and it's kind of excruciating. And with improv, it's not sugar-coated only because you always have this goal of finding something unusual and bizarre that will entertain the audience. So you get to do fun things along the way, but in a way they're extraneous to the center goal.
So what was one performance that you had that was bizarre?
An unusual thing, you want to find them in every performance because that's where the humor comes from in the type of improv we do, long-form improv. So let me think of one. Oh, it's so hard to think on the spot, to improv an answer. I was a little kid, and my parents didn't want to, I was playing a little kid in improv, and my parents didn't want to handle anything, so I kept on having to run the whole family. And then bigger and bigger people kept coming to me to run things, even though I was 12. I once rode one of my friends off stage as a cow. There's just bizarre things that happen every time I was,
So wait, the great part about improv, and I think all of us just looked at each other around the table, is that the thing about improv is that when people come in onto a stage, usually how it goes with improv, to what I understand, is that you kind of start the role, and whoever your partner is just has to go with whatever you say. It's always that yes and type of philosophy. So at some point you must have said something that made another actor be a cow that you then rode off the stage.
Yes. That's the great thing. You walk in, we have nothing prepared, we have to make up a whole show for 2 hours in front of an audience. I had sat down in a scene, and somehow cows had come up in the discussion, and I pretended to be handcuffed, and I said, I'm never going to tell you where that cow is. And then another improviser came in and started a new scene with me, and they said, your family loves that cow. And I said, I know, that cow saved my life when I was a child. And one of my friends thought that was funny, and they said, cut to that. And then someone had to come out and be a cow.
So that's pretty much the beauty. It's like the audience will think it's like a typical play, it's all scripted, but in reality it's just made up as you go along, and there's pretty much nobody can figure out if you're making a mistake or not. You can get away with that.
Yes, you just have to sort of, like we were saying, yes and say, agree with your partner, which is a great skill that improv teaches too, because it's much more fun talking to people in real life if they find a way to find agreement with you and go along with you instead of always banging heads.
So Liam, is there anything else about Pocket Theater that we should know about?
Come to the meetings every Wednesday for Pocket Theater, which are 1 to 2:20 every Wednesday, usually in the Stoller Center in the basement in the Cabaret, which is a theater there. Improv meetings are also in the Stoller Center, but on the 3rd floor.
Great, so I mean, everybody has time during that time. It's campus lifetime.
Yes, so you have no excuses.
Well, if you really enjoyed the Stony Brook Pocket Theater's on-air performance, be sure to check out their on-stage performances too. Check Stony Brook University's Department of Theater Arts website periodically for upcoming shows from Pocket Theater, and if you want to be a part of Pocket Theater, reach out to them through their email at sbpockettheater@gmail.com to participate. Thanks again for joining us, Liam, and please thank Tim again for joining us as well. I feel like we all learned a lot today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey JD, I think we should join the improv group.
You guys meet on Wednesday nights, right?
Yes, come to general body meetings every Wednesday, 8 to 10. Also, you can keep up to date with them on Pocket Theater's Facebook page, which is just look up Pocket Theater on Facebook. We post about it there.